What's going on, everyone? My name is Stone Rivers, and this is the first video of the channel. Now, I am a huge Tottenham fan. I'm a huge football fan, so a lot of the videos will be Tottenham related. So if you are a Tottenham fan like me, if you're a football fan like me, drop a sub, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So it looks like we got our first midfielder link of the summer. Hopefully it's the first of many. I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans, including myself, believe we should have at least 2 midfielders coming this summer. But let's talk about the Tottenham tiers post real quick. It says Tottenham are expected to make a formal move for Hayden Hackney this summer. The midfielder looks certain to leave Middlesbrough, with Crystal Palace expected to make a formal move, and Manchester United also set to join the battle. Now, I believe if we're in a transfer battle with Crystal Palace and Manchester United for this player, probably going to lose out. Just the reason being is that Crystal Palace can guarantee him minutes, guarantee him European football, and Manchester United can also guarantee him minutes, can guarantee him Champions League football, and they also have his former manager in Michael Carrick. And just really quick, I think it's a green light that Michael Carrick is willing to use one of his 2, maybe 3 midfield signings this summer on Championship Hayden Hackney, his former player. I think that's a huge green light. So, if we were to make the signing, I want to talk about a few positives about the player, a few things we can take away from it, and then also some negatives as well, potential negatives, and then whether or not I think it's a decent signing. So let's get into that real quick. So one of the first positives I want to talk about is the fact that Hayden Hackney has had 4 top seasons in the championship. His first 3 years were under Michael Carrick, and you can see his constant development. The one that stands out the most to me is his progressive carries. Went from an 80th percentile carrier to an 88th percentile to a 95. And then this year where he won Championship Player of the Season, he was a 99.7 percentile progressive carrier. I know we don't need a carrier, we need a passer, but then look at the progressive passing and look at that development. I mean, from the 3 years he was with Carrick, he went from a 79th percentile progressive passer to a 93rd.9 percentile progressive passer, and then to a nearly 98th percentile progressive passer. So, obviously, he has the minerals. He has the ability to progress play with line breaking balls. That's what we need in the midfield. That's what we're lacking. Sorry, and I'm curious as to why his passing numbers slightly dropped this season. Obviously, his accuracy went up in forward passing, but his passing numbers slightly dropped. I wonder if that had to do with the change of manager, change of style of play. But I don't want us to shy away from a player just because his carrying metrics are higher than his passing metrics. I think just because he's a good carrier doesn't mean he's a bad passer or like he's not willing to pass. Plus, when you look at the best midfielders and the best midfields in Europe, you have these all-action 8s who can do everyone's job at a high level. And I think Hackney has the ability to be that type of player. If you listen to nothing I say in this video, listen to this. Hayden Hackney's greatest strength that he'll bring to Tottenham is positional and role versatility in the midfield. Now, obviously, we all know that our squad is pretty bloated. We also have a lot of players who are injured. So James Maddison just came back from ACL. We don't want him playing 90 minutes. We need someone who can rotate with him. Right now, that would be Conor Gallagher. We know he's not a technician. We also have Xavi, who's out with ACL. Wilson Odegaard out with an ACL. Kulusevski, we don't know when he's coming back, or if he's coming back, which I'm absolutely gutted for him. But Hayden Hackney last season created 83 chances. Now, that is a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect him to have created that many chances last year in the championship. That's what per 90. 2.25 chances created per 90, which is awesome. It just shows that he has the ability to play further upfield and create chances, as well as play in a deeper role and progress play from deep. That's huge, in my opinion. And I feel like we're going to need that so bad. We're going to need players who can obviously progress play, because that's something we've lacked for so long from deep. And then we're going to need someone who can create chances as well outside of James Maddison, because there were times when we're watching games and we don't have Xavi on the field, we don't have James Maddison obviously out with ACL, we didn't have Odegaard on the field, and we're looking and there's just nothing there, you know what I mean? And sometimes we would shoehorn Lucas Bergvall into 10, and we just know that's not his position. So I feel like having a player like Hackney, a Swiss Army knife, who can play at a level like this, there's a difference between a Swiss Army knife who can just, like, oh, like, I can do this, I can do that, like, and I do it, like, okay. But then having a player who charts so high in progressive actions as well as creates this many chances, I think that's a huge positive. I think that's probably the biggest positive from his game that I'll talk about today. I think two positives we also can speak about, just really briefly though, is the fact that he's English and homegrown, as well as the fact that he is going to be on the last year of his contract. So we wouldn't be looking at anything over, I'd say 30, 25. I mean, we're talking about the best player in the championship though, even though it's his last year of contract. I know Middlesbrough's in the championship, but he's a fantastic player. So I think we'd be paying around 25, 30 or so, something like that. And there's a few negatives that you could take away from this potential deal. I feel like the negatives don't really say much about him as a player. But the first one is really just, can he replicate that on the Premier League level? I mean, obviously, the Premier League and the Championship are just two different beasts. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, he played really well in the Championship player of the season. You don't just get those. So he's a great player. We know that. It's just, can he replicate that at the same level in the Premier League? And then another thing would be, I just don't trust the board. I don't know if they sign Hackney. Like, are they going to sign another midfielder? Because I feel like that makes or breaks the transfer for me. Like, you need to get Hackney in along with another midfielder who's more of like a tempo setter, who's used to just playing and progressing from deep. That's kind of where I stand on it. If the transfer were to go through tomorrow, I would rate it. It really does depend on if we get another midfielder. I mean, if we got another midfielder, I would honestly say that is like an 8, potentially 9 out of 10 signing. Because he could be the next Adam Moore and he could be the next Alex Scott. He's in line to be that next guy. But it's a gamble. And if it was by itself, if we don't get another midfielder and the only midfielder signing we walk away with is Hayden Hackney, I have to rate it like a 3, maybe 4 out of 10. Just because we're in a season where we don't have the privilege to take risk like that. You know what I mean? We need quality. We need quality. We need assured quality through the door. And that's going to be in the form of like a Locatelli, an Alex Garcia, even like a Curtis Jones and Nico Gonzalez. It's not going to be, it could be Hayden Hackney, but you're gambling. You're gambling on a huge leap immediately. So that's kind of where I stand on it. We've gotten a few links as I've been recording this video. So, guys, make sure you sub, like, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. And let me know how I can get better. I know this is like the first video. I know it's not going to be perfect. Kind of short. I wanted it to be like straight to the point kind of thing. So let me know if you guys want longer videos. Let me know if you guys want shorter videos. Let me know if this is just right. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.